Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another RPG News Roundup, this time for September 7th, 2024, where each week I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. As always, we will start with computer and console role-playing game news. Shire and the Wanderer, the mystery dungeon of Serpent Oil Island, is getting a new DLC pack. The Plus Pack, a DLC, will come out in two parts, with the first part aiming for September 10th and the second part for October 31st. They will add new playable characters as well as 10 new dungeons. This title is available on the Nintendo Switch. Wolcen, Lords of Madness, will be getting its main servers shut down on September 17th. There will be the ability to import online characters to offline mode even after the servers are shut down. Within the Cosmos is set to release on October 4th. It'll target the PC and take place in a distant future with humanity on the brink of extinction. Sent on an interstellar expedition, you awaken from your cryosleep to find your society facing androids. Guild Saga Vanished Worlds is set to hit early access on October 10th. It'll be a turn-based RPG set in a fantasy realm where you play a new member of the Heroes Guild. Drova Forsaken Kin is set to release on October 15th. It'll target the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, as well as the Switch. It'll be a grim-dark pixel-based RPG based on Celtic mythology. Bot World Odyssey is set to release on October 24th. It'll target the PC and the Switch and be a creature-collecting style RPG in the Bot World series, of course. The Adventurers is to be a turn-based tactical RPG inspired by tabletop RPGs and will hit PC later this year. It'll have pixel art graphics and take place in a high fantasy world. Labyrinth of Toho Tri, The Dreaming Girls and the Mysterious Orbs will be a dungeon crawler RPG targeting the PC with a release date sometime either late this year or early next, at least in Japan. It'll have you exploring dungeons with a 12-person party with characters from the Toho series. Although no Western release has been announced, it is likely there will be English support in it. Atelier Yumiya, The Alchemist of Memories in the Envisioned Land, has its release date set for March 21st of next year. It'll target the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, as well as the Switch. Latest in the Atelier series, it'll feature world where alchemy has been labeled taboo. Marissa of Lyre-Top Mountain got a new trailer, but it was also delayed until next year. It'll be a tabletop-style adventure RPG and be another of the Toho-style spin-offs. The Royal Office of Magic Affairs is set for next year. It'll be a tactical RPG set in a Victorian London, full of arcane mysteries, various artifacts, and other creatures. Harebrained Schemes, who developed Shadowrun Returns and Battletech, have announced their newest project called Graft. It'll be a post-cyberpunk survival horror RPG set on a dying space station which you have to escape from. Koromon Rogue Planet will be a spin-off of the monster taming RPG Koromon. No release window or target platforms have been announced, but it will include procedurally generated maps and encounters and so forth. So basically a roguelike Koromon. As far as actual releases go, Starcom Unknown Space saw its release. It is an action RPG featuring space exploration, various alien factions, and so forth. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous got a crossover DLC called Visitors from Morta. It introduces characters from the Children of Morta game. Corpus Edex is one of those immersive sim-style first-person RPGs set in a futuristic city, or a retro-futuristic city. It does look like it's got a sort of semi-retro feel, kind of like an early 2000s era graphic style to go with the original brand of immersive sims. Shogun Showdown is a turn-based combat game with roguelike elements, where you gain new skills, build up a deck of attacks and moves, all in a Japanese-inspired setting. Ga is a hack-and-slash roguelike meant for short adventures where you pick a character, fight through randomized levels, level up, and so forth. It is in early access. Finally, there is Star Trek Legends, an action-adventure RPG in early access based on the Star Trek franchise. It has actually been available on Apple Arcade for some time now and is just now available on Steam. With that, we'll move on to Tabletop RPG news. It looks like the 2024 Player's Handbook is now officially live on D&D Beyond, at least for Master Tier subscribers. You can now use the book as you wish. Of course, that is accompanied by what appears to be a Day 1 patch with a load of errata delivered right off the bat. There will also be apparently a new, updated version of the free rules, this time based on 2024. There have been some free rules for the old 5th edition rules floating around for a considerable time now, which I praised at the time. And it's always good to see some sort of introductory thing put out for people who just want to try the game. There is a bundle up on Humble Bundle called The Lost Works of Gygax. It includes material not only from Gyra Gygax, but also from his sons and other family members, including the Memorial Tomb, Castle Zagig, Yigsburg, the Old Necropolis Adventure, Lost City of Gaxmore, and more, from a variety of versions of different RPGs. Proceeds will go to support the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. Onwards towards minor and PDF releases, Magic Exploiter Archetype is a Pathfinder 2nd Edition offering that lets you sacrifice spell slots for focus spells, designed, of course, for 2nd Edition, but based on material from Pathfinder 1st Edition. Kelfasil's Tales, once more, has a few 5th Edition adventures up. There's Library of Stars, Lich Showdown, Death's Rider, and Lost King. And I think there was another one up that went live, like, literally right as I was recording this, but I don't have the title. So, just a collection of Kelfasil's Tales adventures. Infestation at Devil's Glade is a 5th Edition adventure from Jeff Stevens Games that deals with insects which have driven the residents of a town out of their homes and businesses, including giant insects. Relics and Realms has 2 issues. There's issue 7, Etherion, which details a 5th Edition adventure on floating islands. And then there is Dungeon Architect Volume 1, an entry into a Game Master series offering rules, charts, different dungeon types, various unique rooms, and so forth to help build a dungeon. Critical Kit has 2 5th Edition offerings. There is Chill Factor, which is an ice-based adventure, and then a Yuletide Snowball Massacre, meant to be a sort of festive battle royale. The Siege of TBD is a 2-shot adventure for 5th Edition featuring 3rd-level characters and set in a homebrewed world. Mournvault is a 1-shot in location for 5th Edition featuring a once glorious dwarven city now fallen into ruin. Alternative Playable Races, also known as Playable Races of Terra RPG, includes a bunch of new races for the 5th Edition for the Terra setting, but can generally be played with other settings. Astralon Player's Guide is a 5th Edition supplement that offers various new races, backgrounds, and new classes, various subclasses. I think just one new class, but various subclasses, feats, and more material for creating characters for the Astralon setting. Ars Mechanica, the Complete Collector Adventure, is a compilation of all 6 adventures from the Ars Mechanica universe into a single volume ranging from level 1 all the way up to level 20. Master Frank has a few offerings for 5th Edition. There is Backgrounds for Professions, which includes a dozen profession backgrounds suited for characters who can be associated with the Craftsman of Adventure, Trades, and Mysteries book. There's also the Triumvirate of Devouring Legendary Monsters, a collection of new monsters with legendary actions, which can also be used with groups using the Craftsman of Adventure book. Wraith Hunter is a full class for 5th Edition, which features a stealth-based magic class using a spectral companion. RPG Gamer has yet another collection of 5th Edition material from another era of genre tropes. This time they cover the Atomic Age. There is the Atomic Scientist, Commando, Rocket Ranger, the Psi Agent, and then there's also a book of equipment suited for Atomic Age adventures. Dragonheart Magazine Issue 2 is part of a new monthly 5th Edition compatible magazine, which includes 1-page dungeons, magic items, one-shots, and so forth. Attrition is a horror game set for the 5th Edition rule set. Built on 5th Edition rules, of course, it contains a material that avoids the power creep of a usual 5th Edition campaign that can be suited for more challenging and more dangerous and horrific situations. Legendary Games has Sea Monsters, a bestiary with over 60 maritime monsters and related material available in Black Flag compatible rules, as well as Pathfinder and Pathfinder 2nd Edition versions. The Eternal City is a Dungeon Crawl Classic and X-Crawl compatible offering that combines 2 adventures, Hamburg Hackfest and Rumble in Rome. Big Trouble for Little Blood and Sinister Secret of the Slugmen is an offering of 2 adventures for Weird Frontiers, also compatible with Dungeon Crawl Classic rule set, one of which is inspired by the classic film Big Trouble in Little China, which I need to watch again. I love that film. A Monster Folio 2 for Shadowdark is a selection of over 60 creatures with stat blocks compatible for the Shadowdark RPG, specifically for the Hallowfell setting, but generally useful overall. Wrath of Tarkinus is a Shadowdark adventure dealing with a ruler who had struck a deal with a red dragon. Zed and 2 Knots is a level 0 funnel for OSR style systems, especially for old school essentials and compatible material. D12 Monthly, issue 39, is an old school essentials compatible zine which deals with city exploration. It offers various locations and urban kit and other material for OSR systems. Bestiarum Vocabulum, Nagas and Magics of OSR and similar systems, offers a look at Nagas, offering a variety of them, their lore, as well as new spells and magic items. Crusaders Chronicle Issue 8 is an OSR zine that offers a variety of material, including a one-page dungeon, saving throws, skill checks, and so on. Basically an OSR zine. Electrum Archive Issue 1 is another OSR-style fantasy zine, this one inspired by the worlds of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Dark Sun, and Ultraviolet Grasslands. It just produces a kind of weird world-style setting. Tales of Argosa is a sword and sorcery-inspired RPG. Apparently, it is low fantasy gaming 2nd edition, just with a new name, a kind of new design, meant for short adventures in dangerous wilds, treacherous cities, and similar. I remember liking low fantasy gaming back when, and this is basically a redo with a different array of offerings. Steve Jackson Games has a couple of issues of Hexagram up with articles of material for the Fantasy Trip RPG. There is Hexagrams issue 9, 10, and 11. The Last March is a third-party campaign for The Last War, a miniatures agnostic war game. This one has you controlling a band of desperate soldiers and their friends through some various scenarios. Hack and Slash roguelike fantasy gamebook has its core rule system out that lets you build adventures or game books using that system. There's also a separately available resale license in case you want to pack it in with your own material for resale. So that's interesting. Beyond the Firelight Deluxe Revised Edition is a storytelling game of folklore horror with core mechanics. Some example play, it has various personalities, NPC types, adversaries, and several scenarios. Witness, The Wrath of Ire Souls, is an unofficial first-level adventure for the MCDM RPG Draw Steel. Monte Cook Games has Adventures in the Cipher System, an anthology that includes adventures from a variety of different genres meant to showcase how flexible the Cipher system is. Living Danger for the Elemental System is a pulp setting in a supplement with a toolkit full of inspirational material for the Elemental System, of course. The Fresno, Nevada Superhero RPG is a street-level superhero RPG, generally compatible with OSR and D20-based rule sets, but focused on superhero material. Path to Apotheosis is a collection of scenarios for Scion and Demigod. It includes 3 scenarios that can be used as one-off adventures or as part of a proper chronicle. Without Judgment is a science fiction RPG with a near-future cyberpunk noir feel. Catalyst Game Labs has a Shadowrun First Edition available as a reprint PDF. Interesting stuff there. I don't think I've actually never looked at Shadowrun First Edition. I've got like 2nd and I think 4th, 5th, and 6th maybe. I'll have to look. I never actually looked at First Edition. That was actually before I picked it up. The Galaxian Heist is a one-shot adventure for the Mothership RPG that deals with a luxury liner hosting a casino and hotel as well as an art collection that could be subject to a heist. Dreams and Machines Setting Guide in Emerto Valo is an offering for Modifius' system Dreams and Machines that details the city of Emerta and its region. Mongoose has opening moves for the 5th Frontier War for Traveler. It details the first days of the 5th Frontier War and puts the characters right up front in the action. Finally, there is Slave Maids of Gamora 4, where you pilot a haunted spaceship through a war-torn galaxy that has its own system behind it. Just thought it looked interesting. I wonder why. And with that, we'll move on to crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of even receiving a product mentioned here is not an endorsement, but it is for informational purposes only. And I'll try not to have a stroke on stream. It's just that kind of morning. A few computer and console campaigns caught my eye this week. Fading Skies looks to be an action-adventure platformer with RPG elements, featuring a broken world with magic and looking to capture a sort of PS2 and GameCube era feel. Celestial Descends will be a turn-based tactical RPG. A demo is currently available on Steam. It will feature elements of Chinese culture and mythology. Broken Rail will be a story game inspired by classic JRPGs. It has the main character falling asleep on an abandoned train only to awaken in a completely different world. Vampire Syndicate Gangs of Moonfall will be a cyberpunk vampire crime lord style RPG. It will have adult elements due to the subject matter of vampires and cyberpunk and so forth, and looks to take inspiration from things like Planescape Torment as well as Fallout New Vegas, with turn-based tactical combat, a planned squad side of up to 6, hub-based semi-open world, and so forth. Onwards towards tabletop campaigns, there's Battle Zoo Bestiary Elemental Storm, available for 5th edition as well as Pathfinder, and it will include over 170 monsters with new elemental spells, new Monster Hunter rules, as well as monster crafting rules. Numerous other player options will be included as well. Bunch of Monster Hunter-inspired stuff out lately. That's interesting. Side quests will be looking to fund 5 new adventures, one-shots of the wild. Focus for 5th edition, as well as the 2024 version of D&D, will focus on specific locations in the game world. 13 Phylacteries of the Lich Lord will be a 5th edition compatible set of material, is also compatible with 13th Age, dealing with the finding and destroying 13 Phylacteries. Architects of the Deep is looking to fund a 5th edition of one-shot adventure with a carnival theme called Insane Clown Circus of Doom. It will feature killer clowns. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fans of that. It looks like it'll be an incredibly short crowdfunding thing, so if you're seeing this on Monday or later, it'll probably be over by then. Hell, it may not even be open late on Sunday. The Codex of Secrets will be a 5th edition campaign for levels 5 to 8, set in the world of Ethelon Adventure Ripples setting. Dark Wizard Games is looking to fund another set of 5th edition as well as 1st edition compatible adventures. This one will focus on 4 of them: Pirate's Den, Black Lotus, Lost City, and Hidden Shrine. Blessed Be the Peacemakers will be a 5th edition one-shot about a journey in a convoy through a savage, merciless, untamed territory. Tales from the Traveling Inn will be a 5th edition module with turtle mechanics and a swashbuckling theme. It looks like it's based on an inn on the back of a turtle that can teleport around wherever it is needed. Faithful Familiars looks to be a 5th edition supplement of familiars and small animal companions. It looks like it'll include dynamic leveling options for them, as well as unique items and world-building tips, all with a cute little art style. I actually really like it. There was some concern, like the artist was very concerned that not everybody would like their art style. I could see that, but it's adorable. Anyway, D&D, but everyone is a goat. It looks to be exactly what it says on the tin, a module for 5th edition, wherein everyone plays a goat, and all the villains are also goats. Goat Simulator, the tabletop RPG. Anyway, the Comet Codex's Bestiary in miniatures looks to be a collection of 5th edition adversaries, horrors, and treasures, including magic items and creatures, player options, rules for horror encounters, and so forth. And there is also some miniature funding in that as well, in case you like miniatures. Corpus Draconis will be a Draconic Codex for 5th edition, as well as a couple of dragon-based classes, various archetypes, new heritages, some deities, backgrounds, feats, spells, magic items, as well as a number of dragons. Magazine of Mythic Monsters looks to be a collection of 22 monsters from around the world, adapted for 5th edition with stats based around the actual lore. Chaos Works Upon the Flesh intends to be a survival horror supplement for 5th edition with a focus on shapeless monsters and flesh-warping powers. Starpunk will be a mix of cosmic horror and heroic fantasy for 5th edition, as well as other D20-based games. Complete Town 3 Beach Paradise will be a 5th edition guide to a beach town, including a detailed setting to put into your campaign, just the latest in these supplements. Moss, Stone, and Steel is looking to fund a medieval dark fantasy tabletop RPG with an original system focusing on low magic settings as well as sword and sorcery influences. Ember will be an online tabletop RPG from the creators of Foundry Virtual Tabletop that looks to focus on the digital RPG experience and include an open-world setting with a lengthy campaign, all focused around online play. It will require the Foundry Virtual Tabletop to use. Echo of the Crown looks to be funding a medieval tabletop RPG focused on political intrigue, perilous quests, and legendary treasures with a narrative basis. For the Lord, the Dark Ages and Church Missions looks to add a couple campaigns to the For the Lord RPG set in 7th century Italy. The For the Lord RPG is an RPG with a Christian focus, so take that as you will. Sleepy Hollow will be a tabletop RPG focusing on 19th century folklore revolving around the village of Sleepy Hollow. Ironbound looks to be an urban fantasy RPG, including the Ironbound system, based on a D12 core mechanic and featuring Grimwood City. Capers Expanded will be a supplement for the Capers RPG that looks to offer an expansion of the system in general with new superpowers, additional cities, a story generator system, and so forth. I think it also includes the base rules, so it's basically like literally Crusaders RPG, just expanded, so we'll see. Netcrawl is looking to fund a tabletop RPG about adventuring inside of a computer system, dealing with cyber dungeons using a D20-based system, as well as Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG as its base. It is undergoing a cross-promotion campaign with Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland, Deities, and Demibros supplement, which I'm also mentioning here. It'll be a supplement for the Neon Lords system, offering various gods and chaotic eldritch nightmares. Onyx Path is looking to fund a Storypath Ultra Core Manual, a compiled version of the Storypath tabletop role-playing game system, which is behind several of their other RPGs. The Hearts of Tiberius will be a adventure module for Mothership First Edition, where you're sent on a to a mining facility infested with alien parasites. And finally, Audio RPG is looking to fund an audiobook for Behind the Claw supplement for the Traveler system. They've been putting these audiobooks out for you to listen to and basically familiarize yourself with while doing other things. I like that sort of initiative. And with that, I'm going to wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler with my RPG News Roundup for September 7th, 2024. As always, links will be below. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment, guide your feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.